Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion Part 3. Oh, you guys, this one was good. Started out slow, but damn, they packed it all in at the end, didn't they? Seriously, I had to take a picture of this expression right here because this can make my blood boil. It was so good. Andy did a great job asking all the good questions and but her responses are awful, weren't they? We'll get into it. She's a terrible person. I don't know how anybody can defend her at this point, and I can usually see the other side to things, even if I disagree about a housewife. It's cool. Like Rinna, she's not my cup of tea, but if you want to like her, it's cool. You do you. I don't get it on Erika, and mostly, you guys have been pretty much saying the same thing. She's a terrible person. I've had one or two stands in my comments there, but I just don't know how you defend somebody like this. I really don't. Even if she's not guilty and didn't know, blah blah blah. Her personality is so shitty and so terrible and so cold and just mean, like to the core. I don't know how you back somebody like this. Oh my gosh, we're a minute in. Let's get started. I'm sorry. I'm on this rant. But hey guys, I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be talking Real Housewives. Again, I thought I'm loving this reunion. It's been so good. I could have skipped the first part of this one. I thought it was kind of slow. We'll talk about it, but the ending of this one. I had my husband in the room. He doesn't even watch Housewives, but he got riveted by the end of this one too. And we were trying to figure out what she did to her face. Sorry, she's just a terrible person. Okay, so again, beginning of this reunion, we're not going to go through it all. American Woman, I do find it funny that Kathy did not watch it. Kyle's show, because apparently nobody else did either, and it got canceled. I don't even think... Did it finish its first season? Did it just do a couple episodes? I don't know. I just assume Kathy's so powerful she had the plug pulled on it. All jokes aside, Kyle bugs the crap out of me, but I'm glad that they made up. I'm glad that they're good again. It was really touching to hear that their families miss each other and that things are better. That's good. You know what popped in my mind, though? I would really like to know what happened with Kim and the damn dog. Remember the dog bit Portia. I think he bit other people too, so I don't know what happened. But I just wondered, I was thinking, and I might be wrong, didn't it come up at a reunion where Kyle, that was part of it. Kathy wasn't speaking to Kyle, and maybe Kathy, I might be remembering this wrong, but Kathy was taking Kim's side, so many cases, but Kim's side on this, I don't know. Kim was kind of a train wreck. She was interesting. She made the show interesting, and I'm so glad they flashed back to that mouth spray moment because I think about that all the time, that she used room deodorizer as mouth spray. But goodness. Okay. So they kind of went through that. The lady that we find out about that, her name was Paula. So I had heard. I listened to so many podcasts, I can't remember which one. It might have been Danny Pellegrino's podcast. It may have been Watch What Happens. I don't know. That what really happened there, and the reason that Kathy kept calling her the lady is because she wasn't sure that the lady wanted her name out there. So if that's the truth, then that's pretty cool. I actually think that's neat that she was trying to respect her privacy, if that's the truth. Otherwise, I like to believe that she lives in La La Land and talking about Kathy, and she doesn't know any of the help's name. So, but again, I want you to notice, and I do plan on going back and watching parts of this episode again because it's so good. Did you notice, during this part when they were talking about Kyle and Kathy and all this, when it wasn't about Erika, they would like to pan to Erika. This was the face she was making. She'd get pissy if it wasn't about her. It's like she pretends that she doesn't like the spotlight on herself, especially about the Tom stuff. But as soon as it's not on her, she has this... It's more than a resting bitch face, because, yeah, I probably have that too. But it's just this mean, cold, horrible... Oh, she's the worst. But she has this look on her face, and it was... all throughout the reunion, anytime it wasn't about her, yeah, this is what was happening on her face. Okay, so I'm going to breeze past this part. Discussion of leather pants. I will say, Crystal, I do not love her. I've voiced that throughout the season. Not my favorite. I did like her a lot this reunion. I don't know why. I just found her much more likable. I am glad that she explained, her body dysmorphia issues. It kind of, I don't know, it showed a more vulnerable side, and I kind of got to know her more, and I did like learning about her culture. I thought it was really interesting and a different perspective that we needed here on the show. There's just parts of her that I liked. I know it goes against everything I've said during the season, because she wasn't my favorite throughout the season, but I liked her on this reunion. That's my long way of saying that. I did like her on this reunion. It broke my heart to hear all the hate she's getting. That's terrible. Even if you don't like somebody, like I can't stand Erika. Are you guys shocked? I would never think to send her information. That's what we have each other for, right? To talk shit about the ones we don't like. But I would never directly contact her. Well, I wouldn't directly contact anybody and say terrible things anyway. But I'm saying, like, what's wrong with people? That's terrible. And to do it because of Crystal's ethnicity is just, it's disgusting. So I did feel for her, and I'm glad she opened up. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on Crystal? Did you feel the same way as me? I know I had a couple of comments saying kind of the same thing as far as throughout the season, not a big fan. Did you find yourself liking her more during the reunion? Let me know. We got a montage of expensive things. Talk about Dorit paying retail for everything. I don't know that I believe that. I've read a lot of blind gossip things that kind of imply that that's not the case, and a lot of her stuff might be borrowed. I don't know. Maybe she is buying it. I want to believe it because I love the glitz and glamour of it all. I always want the housewives to have a ton of cash and spend it with reckless abandon. That's kind of the fun of the show. So sure, I'll believe it. Let's see. Kathy told a funny story where her husband Rick got her a sterling shell, but we find out it's because he collects shells. I did not know Mauricio sent diamond earrings to Kyle on the show for their anniversary. That was pretty sweet. But, yeah, okay, so let's move on. Kathy's segment, that was so funny when I totally forgot she thought that Garcelle was Kyle. She says things like, I'm about to have a gorilla who's hunky-dory, all this stuff. Anyway, I just enjoyed Kathy this season. I'm glad she's here, and it was interesting to learn about her. I did not know that the Hilton hotels were no longer part of Rick's family. I guess it sounds like he sold it about 10 years ago. Cool. I'm sure they made a bloody fortune off of it, so even cooler. And that's how the episode ends. Just kidding. Do you think I'm not going to talk about the best part of the episode? All that other stuff was basically just filler, and then we get into the really good stuff. Oh, you guys, my heart is racing right now. This is not a healthy obsession for me. Okay, so the Erika and Tom of it all. Now, first of all, we get a scene in between segments where Andy says, how's it going, Erika? And she says, I would love it if you didn't go hard on me. And he says, we're going to put you on a skewer and fire up the barbecue. And then you see her turn, again, charming personality, and she says, I'm so effing ready for you. I'm sure you are, Erika. I feel like everything she says is rehearsed. Ugh, can you tell my feelings on her? Sorry. Okay. We hear all about the split, the alleged embezzlement, the plane crash victims, improperly funneling more than $20 million into her bank account, all the highlights. It was just so interesting. They even show, I love the editors, the crazy ass story she was trying to feed everybody about the burglary and the cars flipping and the ankle / whatever else was going on. So good. Okay. So Andy is asking, who's for you and who's against you? I don't know. Ask them. I mean, just every answer was combative. If you're truly innocent, this is your time. Everybody's watching, right? This is your time to say, what the hell did he do? What happened? Whatever. And I think that was Andy's point, is why are you acting like the victim, which, by the way, was like the best mic drop moment ever. But why are you acting like a victim? Why are you being such a cold bitch about it? And why aren't you using this time, this forum, to say what happened? Like, instead, she's an angry, bitter, cold bitch. I don't know how else to say it. Kyle is still being a kiss ass in this. She's like, I'm hoping you weren't upset with me. And, it comes up about the dinner. And P.S. I can't wait till next week, because it does sound like she's getting called out for being a kiss ass. And by the way, I'm sorry, but nobody's more of a kiss ass than Rinna. That has been her MO all season. That's been her MO every season. She doesn't actually have a storyline, so she messes with other people to try to get them to bring up storylines. That becomes her storyline. Anyway, I'm jumping around. I love the PK and Mauricio dinner. I thought that was fantastic. Kyle's trying to say they have their own opinions, and that all along my husband said he believes you. I'm like, oh, bring out Stone Mauricio. I like him so much better. Dorit is saying, we were trying to tell the story, and it was getting jumbled up and confusing. It was becoming more preposterous. Oh, you guys, Erika's face during that. Oh, if looks could kill. I'm glad Dorit said that, but then she started kind of backpedaling and being like, I believe you, Erika. Whatever her voice is, her accent. But I love that. That's exactly how I feel every time it becomes more preposterous. Erika's saying, I'm here to clear up misconceptions. No, you are not. Even on this reunion, when people would bring things up, she just got mad. When Crystal brought things up, she just got mad. And she didn't like that they were bringing things up. So, nah, she's full of shit. Garcelle says, why do you think She's saying, why do you think that we shouldn't be concerned by being grouped into a story like this? And Erika says, you can't be fearful of that. You know the truth, and anyone tried to drag any of you into this, it's bullshit. And Sutton is trying to, I love Sutton. She's saying, we weren't told anything, we didn't know, and brings up her running away, which Erika denies. Flashback, and love the editors, she did run away. And she's saying she left because of the fight with Garcelle. I want to know more about that fight with Garcelle. Remember, Garcelle is revealed that Erika had said Tom calls her, and then Erika looked like somebody deflated her tires or something, or that she had been caught red-handed. Like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have revealed that. So she makes a big scene and leaves. So Andy brings up that there are actual victims here. I love that he gave a nod to Teresa, like, not like ripping off the IRS. There's actual victims here. Erika says some bullshit statement about we're a long way from finding out what happened. I'm sure they are, especially when you guys drag it out. How the F do you think I feel? And she says, horrible. And I've said that. It's just, oh God, just a crotchety old man. I don't know. It's just not at all the warm. I got to find a new way to say that, but she's a terrible person. Everyone is saying you never said that about, feeling horrible. Crystal brings up, why are you not saying it to the victim? And Sutton's like, exactly. Erika says there's a real boundary where I can go and where I can't. And if anyone in these cases has been proven wronged, I want them remedied. Wow, that's the most warm and compassionate statement I believe she's made, which, P.S., sounds like a robot. Andy says, it's the way that people perceive it. You come off like you think you're the victim. Seriously, give Andy a gold star. That's exactly it. He nailed it. Erika said, I never said I was the victim. I'm not the victim. Bullshit. The whole season, it was, I gotta go back to my little cottage, my little $2 million cottage, and just all of it. I've got nothing. Oh, okay. And Sutton brings up, yeah, you look like you are, playing the victim. And Erika blows a gasket. Are you effing kidding me? My life is upside down. How can I not be sad? How can I not be tired? How can I not be exhausted? And again, I love Andy. He says, but you're saying these things, and again, it's that playing the victim thing. He says, um, this is how we feel about the victims. What about them? And Erika says, what should I have done? Anyone have any suggestions? Again, just the meanness, the anger, the aggression, just so wholly unlikable. And Andy brings up it doesn't seem to be landing with the group or with the viewers where you're coming from. And Erika says there's a limited way I can express myself. And again, it's just hiding behind the legal mumbo jumbo. Like, nope, you're just a terrible person. Kyle brings up not doing herself any favors with her Instagram. That's what we've all the rest of us have been saying all along. Andy says you're presenting the attitude of consumption and indifference, and she says, where's the consumption? And Andy reminds her, your whole Erika Jane character is built on consumption. How could you? I mean, it's expensive to be me. We'll just leave that right there. And again, Andy's saying it lands differently when there's actual victims, plane crash victims. Rinna, in a shocking turn of events, says, that is true. And I literally wrote in my notes, holy shit, it's the first time she hasn't been up Erika's ass. But then she says, I understand her acting out, doing what she's doing. I don't think it's helpful. It's feeding the fire. So that's her still kissing Erika's ass some, but, wow, finally saying something. And Andy says, what did Erika know? Did you have the sense that this alleged theft was happening? And Erika says, I don't work at Girardi Keese. All the financials are kept there. Just that shitty ass attitude. You can't just answer the question. You have to be a bitch about it. Really? Like, this is your chance, this is your stage and this is how you're coming across. Just no awareness at all. I could keep going on this, but anyway, so we go in and then finally Crystal says, oh no, wait, back up. Garcelle got Andy got my gold star for this reunion, but Garcelle got my MVP here when they said, who believes Erika didn't know what Tom was doing? And they all say no. And Garcelle says, I don't think Tom shared everything with Erika, but I think Erika was living such an amazing life. She didn't want to know. That's exactly what I think too. And I gotta figure at some point she figured it out or suspected or whatever, and it's just easier for her not to ask. Crystal brings up, I have a question that has bothered me, and if Rob did this to me, I'd be so angry. Where's your anger toward him? Oh, you guys. That's when the floodgates open. Where do you think it is? And you think I don't have any because you haven't seen it? So again, 5 seconds ago, she was getting mad at all of them for not discussing things with her. And then when they do, like right here, she blows a gasket and bites their heads off. So she's full of shit. So again, Crystal brings up a very valid point, like, where's your anger toward him? And she says, I sat here wondering who I was married to for 20 years, and did you forget me saying that I'm very angry? Hear it in my voice, all right? And, she's just the worst. Andy says, what will you do? And she says, you'll have to wait and see. It's like a Bond villain, I don't know. But not that cool. So then he ends the reunion by asking, have you heard that Tom was in financial trouble? She says, no, you can see they've made a ton of money each year. I was being sued. And, oh yeah, that didn't really make sense. She brought up being sued, named as a defendant in a $15 million loan case. I remember when that happened, but she just kind of laughed it off. You saw how coldly and whatever she laughed it off when they brought it up. And so why bring it up now? What am I missing? Like, that was just a weird deflection there. And at the end, she says, am I angry enough now for you? Talking to Crystal. So, again, she's terrible. Ugh. I hope that if she is involved, I hope she's not, but if she is, which allegedly, I hope every detail comes out. I want to know how she found out, what happened. I just hope those victims make their money back. Okay, so we see a flash to next time. Tom has called 5 times today. What? Again, that makes no sense with the stories you've been telling. Have you asked if he stole from people? And she says, doesn't matter what he says. He's incompetent. So I'm left holding the bag. Okay, but you're not a victim, right? They go to each lady and say, why didn't you ask the tough questions? Why was it just Sutton and Garcelle? I loved in the previews they called Kyle a kiss ass. They called Dorit duplicitous. Crystal's quiet. I can't wait to see how that comes up. It's Sutton versus Erika, and thank goodness for that, because seriously, Erika was terrible to her this season. And then Andy brings up the $20 million into her account. So then we see Erika freak out and say, can someone please back me the F up on what I'm saying? So it should be an excellent finish. I can't believe it, you guys. I really thought 4-part reunion, like, they're going to really fill this thing up and drag it out, but it hasn't been. A little bit at the beginning of this episode, but I know they had to cover that stuff because we saw it this season, but damn, it's been great. So I can't wait till next week. I can't wait to see the 4th part of this reunion. I can't wait to read your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this. How did you think it went? Do you feel as outraged as apparently I do, because I've talked the last 20 minutes about how terrible Erika is? But anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Let me know your thoughts below, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And I will talk to you guys again very soon. Oh yeah, I floated the other day. By the way, Below Deck is back. Be sure to check out my coverage there. I'm super into Succession. So if you guys would be interested at all in talking about Succession a little bit, I probably wouldn't do it every week, but maybe we could talk about it here and there in an episode. Let me know. I'd be down to talk about that. So let me know in the comments below, or if there's another show you're obsessed with, let me know that too. And again, thank you for all the wonderful comments and support. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Stay healthy and safe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.